YouTube is one of the most underutilized platforms by many digital marketers. Despite many statistics clearly showing the profitability of video marketing, even many of the web's preeminent digital marketers are shy to get involved. Why is this? Simple. Many marketers who are working from home lack the resources, the know-how, or the confidence to get involved with video marketing. But you know what? That's exactly why you need to get involved and why you need to learn how to use this crucial tool. Leaving the statistics to one side for a moment, video marketing is incredibly valuable simply because it allows you to change the way that others perceive your business. When you create a great video with high production values, you make your organization feel far more professional, stable, and resourceful. Instead of looking like you're some guy writing articles from his mum's basement, you'll now look like a real business, complete with high production values and a professional sheen that inspires trust and confidence in your brand. At the same time, video marketing also has some other advantages. For example, it's highly engaging beyond what you can achieve with a written advert or even a blog post. Think about how often you've sat up all night watching TV programs that you weren't really interested in simply because it was too difficult to turn off and turn your attention away from them. Videos combine sound, music, images, and clever editing, and they let us speak directly to the audience. If you're a digital marketer with a personal brand and you're trying to gain the trust and familiarity of your audience, then going on video and letting them meet you in that way is incredibly valuable. Likewise, though, if you're a large corporation and you want to show off your products, then being able to put them on the screen and show them being used will make it much easier for your audience to understand them and to see the appeal and the value proposition. Think about what you'd be more likely to buy. Something you heard described in a piece of text, or something you could see being held up to the camera, being used and shot in dynamic, flattering lighting. Add in some great music to underscore the value of the item and a great persuasive sales script, and you can make anything seem incredibly desirable. And one of the most effective forms of video marketing available to any internet marketer is YouTube advertising. YouTube is a massive platform and provides incredible reach to a vast range of different users across the world. The only downside is that it's also very difficult to get noticed through YouTube. As with running a blog, creating a YouTube channel means competing with millions of other content creators and saturation in almost every niche imaginable. This is where YouTube advertising comes in. Using a YouTube advertising campaign, you can ensure that millions of people see your video instantly. This can then be used to directly sell a product, to drive traffic to your website, or even to drive traffic to a YouTube channel. In other words, YouTube advertising allows you to quickly skip the hard work normally associated with building your channel, and instead get straight to the part where you begin getting huge exposure and building your brand. In case you're not yet convinced that YouTube is the platform for you, it may help to look at some of the incredible statistics surrounding the video sharing site. For instance, did you know that YouTube has over 1 billion users? That makes it absolutely massive, and to put it in perspective, it's nearly a third of everyone on the internet. Every single day, these users watch hundreds of millions of hours of video on the channel. And on mobile alone, YouTube manages to reach more 18 to 34-year-olds and 18 to 49-year-olds than any cable network in the US. So in other words, if you were thinking of spending money on a video advertising campaign, then your money would actually be much better spent on YouTube advertising. This is especially true too, considering that YouTube advertising is far more affordable. Think these numbers are impressive now? Then you'll be even more impressed to learn that the user base is still growing exponentially. In fact, it grows by more than 3 times year on year. That means that there will likely be 3 times as many users by the end of next year. Between March 2014 and January 2016, the number of users on YouTube increased by a whopping 40%. These users are also spread throughout the world, which is great if you have an international product. 80% of YouTube viewers come from outside the US. In fact, the channel is available in over 76 different languages. More than half of YouTube's views are from mobile devices, but it's also worth taking into consideration just how popular YouTube is across a range of other devices as well. YouTube can be enjoyed on TVs and even on games consoles, so it's available even in households without computers or smartphones. People don't just use YouTube for entertainment either. They also use it for looking up information and getting answers to questions. YouTube is commonly used just like Google as a search engine, and is in fact the second largest search engine after Google in terms of the numbers of searches. For all these reasons, YouTube actually controls the flow of 17% of all internet traffic. And advertisers and creators are profiting greatly from all this success. Partner revenue has been increasing by 50% year on year, and channels earning 6 figures a year from YouTube have also increased by the same amount. Adoption of YouTube advertising is growing too. The numbers of advertisers using YouTube has increased by 40% each year, and the average spend for the top 100 advertisers has increased by 60%. What does all this tell us? Well, for now, it tells us that YouTube advertising still isn't oversaturated. There's still a place here, and especially for internet marketers. If you use YouTube marketing to show videos of your new ebook or your self-development blog, then you'll be one of the few marketers using it that way currently. This in turn means that you can stand out and get attention, and you can get great prices and excellent ROI for your campaign. Similarly, though, it also shows you that companies already using YouTube advertising are profiting from it and are thus reinvesting more money into it. Did you know that every single one of the top 100 global brands have run YouTube adverts in the last year? TrueView adoption is growing too, and it grew by 45% over 2014. This is the perfect time to set up an account and to start reaching a bigger audience. So, without a doubt, YouTube advertising is one of the absolute best ways to engage with your audience, to drive traffic, to generate profit, and to grow your brand. But you may still be feeling apprehensive. Perhaps you're unsure as to whether you have what it takes to create videos of a professional quality, or maybe you don't know how to go about using the platform. Perhaps you're concerned about the amount of money you'll need to spend. Don't be. This is where these videos will come in handy and will show you the ropes and everything you need to learn in order to start making the most from YouTube advertising. Throughout the course, you'll learn how to create stunning videos that have a professional quality without spending a huge amount of money. At the same time, you'll learn about key phrases and how to get maximum exposure with minimum spend. You'll learn the ins and the outs of the different options available for creating YouTube ads, and you'll learn how to integrate your advertising campaign with a great YouTube channel for maximum exposure. While the number of internet marketers currently using YouTube to its fullest is still quite slim, there are nevertheless some great examples of people who are making a lot of money from it. One example is the very visible Mike Chang from Six Pack Shortcuts, who uses a ton of advertising to drive visitors to his channel and to his information products. One of his most recent videos involved him stuffing his face as much as he could to demonstrate how his training methods don't require you to starve yourself. The video is actually quite unpleasant to watch and is certainly fairly controversial. Both of these things work in Mike's favor, however, as both of these things mean people are more likely to watch and to click through to see what the channel is all about. Remember, these videos will normally show just before fitness and bodybuilding videos that the user has clicked on, and this is a great way for them to grab attention. In some of his other YouTube ads, Mike will talk about free techniques that you can use as a reader to lose weight or to build muscle. To see the free technique, you need to click on the ad and get directed to another video. This brings people to the Six Pack Shortcuts brand and is what is known as a sales funnel. Gradually, viewers engage more and more with the brand until eventually they're willing to pay for the product. Another example is Ty Lopez. Now, if you spend much time on YouTube, then you'll no doubt have seen him talking about how he earned his Lamborghini in his garage. Once again, the video is fairly ostentatious and controversial, and some people will be put off by it. Either way, though, viewers end up watching, and this technique has allowed Ty to very quickly grow his channel to 406 or more thousand viewers. It's actually doubtful, though, whether that Lamborghini is even his. You don't need to be so on-the-nose controversial or deceptive to make a splash, though. Equally successful is the fitness channel Athlean X, which promotes training like an athlete. In the advertising campaign for this channel, owner Jeff Cavalier actually actively challenges the methods of advertisers like Mike Chang and positions himself as the more grounded and scientific alternative. The techniques you'll learn here will enable you to emulate the success these content creators have, and even to surpass them with your own products and channels. To get started with your advertising, you'll first need to create your account. These days, YouTube is integrated very closely with Google and with Google+. That means that the easiest way to sign in is just to log into your Google account. From there, you'll have the option to create a specific YouTube account. Now, I've already done that, so let's just come into my YouTube account. Now, to create a YouTube channel, you come over here to the little icon that's got your picture on it, or your logo, or however you've set it up on Google, and you click on that, and then click here where it says Creator Studio, and then simply follow the on-screen instructions to set up a new channel. It's all fairly self-explanatory. Now, once you've got all your channels created, you'll be able to find them here on this little drop-down. And at the same time, you'll be able to see your Google Plus accounts all listed underneath. So if you want to create a new channel for your Google Plus page, then you can do it by clicking on these. This means that if you have a business on Google Plus, you can easily create a channel for that business and have your accounts linked. Either way, you need to be on Google Plus in order to use YouTube and in order to be able to add comments, etc. When you create your channel, you'll either use the name associated with your Google Plus account, or you'll create a new name that's relevant to your brand and that's easy for your visitors to find and to understand. You may choose to create multiple channels, one for your brand and one for yourself as a personal user. Alternatively, you might choose to create multiple channels for each of your products. For instance, you might want to create one channel for your brand and another for your app. For example, Microsoft has a Microsoft account, as well as a Surface account and a Windows account, and so on. Take a look over the terms and conditions, and once you're happy with the name of your channel, then you can click Done to go ahead and publish the channel. And we'll continue this video in Part 2. Welcome to Part 2. Once you have created your channel, the next step is to create some content for it and to add some information. In case you were wondering, your YouTube channel and your advertising campaign are going to be intimately linked so that when users click on your ads, they will very often be taken to your account page. This means you should make sure that your page is ready to receive said visitors before you start creating your ads. When people visit your channel, they'll see a number of different headings and features that will tell them about your brand. One of the most important things here, for instance, is your description, which will simply explain what your channel is all about and why people should stick around. And you can see you can find it here under the About tab. The first part of this also shows when someone does a search in YouTube and your channel shows up in the listings. Now, this is important for SEO or search engine optimization. In other words, the text that you include in the description will be at least partly responsible for helping you achieve more visibility in searches, both on Google and through YouTube itself, like I was just saying. So make sure then to think about what the most relevant keywords are for your topic and what you can include to encourage more people to find your channel. Likewise, you can also link to your social media and your website, and you can feature some other channels that you like. All of this will help your brand to grow. By linking to your website, for instance, you'll be able to drive traffic that way and thereby increase the number of people engaging with your brand. Meanwhile, linking to your website and confirming it as yours will also allow you to link to products, etc. directly from videos. As we will see later on, this is a rather useful feature for any marketer. At the same time, linking to your social media will help you to drive even more traffic and will make it easier for you to build a cohesive brand across multiple platforms. One of the adages you'll most commonly hear with regards to internet marketing and social media marketing is to be everywhere. Make sure you are in as many places as possible by creating a consistent brand on every platform that you can find online. This branding should extend as well to your cover image and to your profile picture. The profile picture here is going to be the same as it is for your Google Plus account, so make sure that this is something that accurately reflects your brand and your niche and that looks the part for your channel. The cover image, meanwhile, can be anything you choose, but a good bet is to put a logo of some sort in front and to make sure this logo is the same across all of your channels, your social media and so on. As you create more content for your channel, you'll find that you're also able to add playlists of your videos, which will make it easier for videos to find the type of information they're looking for. And they'll be able to find it here under the Playlists tab. Another useful feature is the ability to create a video that will promote your channel and will play whenever anyone visits the page. Here you can create a montage of your best content or just talk to your visitors and explain what they can stand to learn by visiting your channel and why they should keep coming back. Until you do this, visitors will simply see a list of your recently added videos. Depending on the strategy you intend to employ with your YouTube advertising, you'll also need to create some content and start uploading videos. The ads you create are likely going to drive visitors to your channel, and so you want to have some great content here waiting for them when they arrive. We'll go into depth onto how to create high-quality videos on a shoestring budget later in this series. For now, though, all you need to know is that your videos need to be high quality and they need to provide value. Don't worry about trying to sell or monetize just yet. What's most important is that you build a following and that you gain the trust of your visitors. The best way to do that is to fill yourself with interesting and unique content that people will want to view and that will encourage them to subscribe. The more quality and value you provide, the more people will be interested in buying from you when you eventually come to sell something. Next, you need to link your AdWords account to your YouTube account. This is the crucial step for YouTube advertising, and until you do this, your advertising and your YouTube will be separate entities from one another. Once you link the two, you'll not only be able to take part in YouTube advertising, but you'll also have the option to see more statistics for your video, such as earned videos. You'll be able to control features like CTA overlays, more on this later, and remarketing. In order to link these two accounts, you need to sign into YouTube and then click here where it says My Channel, and this will take you to your main channel administration page here. Then you want to click here where it says Video Manager. Then down here on the left hand side, come here to where it says Channel and click that, and then come down to where it says Advanced and click on that. Then scroll down to where it says Link an AdWords account and click on that, and you'll be walked through the process of linking your channel and your AdWords account. Of course, before you do this, you'll need to sign up to AdWords and create an account. Alternatively, you can link your YouTube channel from within AdWords. To do this, you need to sign into your AdWords account and then come up here to where this little cog is and click on that, and then come down to where it says Linked Accounts and click on that. it'll take you to this page. You can see there's a whole lot of different stuff on here, but the one that we're interested in is YouTube. So click here where it says View Details. And then you can click on this button here to add a YouTube channel and then simply follow the on-screen instructions. Now, word of caution here, these are the procedures that are in place at the time that I'm making this video. But Google does have a habit of changing things without giving any notice at all. So if when you try to do this you find that they don't work, simply do a search in Google for link YouTube and AdWords accounts and it will keep you up to date with the most recent instructions. Okay, so now you've done all that, you're ready to start creating your first campaign and to start promoting a video of your choosing. Follow these steps to learn how easy it is to start promoting your brand with YouTube advertising, but don't do any of it just yet. We're going to go through this process as a learning curve for now, and so that you understand how to get started. You'll want to see the rest of the videos before you get to work, in order to ensure that your ad is going to be as effective as possible and to ensure that you understand the precise workings of how the adverts work. So with this all linked, you'll need to come up with a bidding strategy. Most AdWord campaigns use a CPC or cost per click process, which means that you only pay once the ad has been clicked. With YouTube though, you'll need to use something called CPV. That means cost per view, and in turn means that you only pay once the video is viewed all the way through. We'll talk about this a bit more in a moment, but for now, all you need to know is that the amount you bid is the amount that you'll pay for each view. Your bid is your CPV, so it needs to be tied closely to your budget. So why not just offer the very lowest CPV possible and that way get your ads at a very low price? Well, simple, because there are too many people trying to do the exact same thing, and the amount you pay will directly impact on how visible your image is. This is called bidding because that's exactly how it works. You'll select the kind of content that you want your videos to appear on, and once you do that, you'll be going up against all the other advertisers in your niche. YouTube will decide which advert to show based upon which of you is paying the most. So this means that you can pay very little and get your adverts shown cheaply, but not very often, or you can pay more and have your adverts seen much more frequently by a bigger audience. Of course, the amount that you're able to pay is likely to be dictated closely by the amount that you stand to earn from each video and how effective your campaign is at driving sales and profits. Something else to recognize about the bidding process is that you won't always pay the maximum amount that you're willing to pay. As with bidding on eBay or at an auction, you're only required to beat the next highest bid. This means that you can set your CPV at 25 cents, but if the next highest bid is 10 cents, you'll only pay 11 cents. You'll be able to set a budget that you won't go over. This is particularly useful if you have a limited budget, as it guarantees that you won't spend more than you can afford. It also means that you're capped out at a certain amount though. So if your daily spend is $10 and your CPV is 50 cents, then there's a chance that you only get 20 views before your pool runs dry. Unfortunately, there is no golden rule or ideal number to refer to when choosing your ad spend. And ultimately, the amount you bid will need to come down to your goals and objectives as well as your budget and cash flow. Of course, you can set different bidding amounts for different campaigns though, and this means you can compare how two different campaigns are performing, and you can try different strategies for each. What you also need to do is to generally track the performance of each of your campaigns and to look at how much they're earning and how much you're actually paying per click. You can then tweak the variables in order to make sure you have optimized your strategy. All this means you need to think carefully about how to get the most out of your campaign and how to get the most for your money. Another important factor to that end is your targeting. Targeting refers to the way in which your ads will be aimed at a very specific group. Most advertising campaigns will have a particular target audience in mind, and your job is to make sure that you're only paying for those specific people to see your ads. If you are a video game developer and the digital product you are selling is an action platform game, then of course you're probably not going to want your adverts to show on videos aimed at hair and makeup. While there may be some overlap, these two interests are very different and generally appeal to different demographics. If you pay for your ad to appear in front of a makeup tutorial, then chances are that you're going to be wasting your money. So instead, you want your video to appear only on relevant content, and in this case, it means that you want it to turn up on videos like top 10 games countdowns, or let's play videos, or on video game reviews. Someone watching a review of one video game is much more likely to click on your ad and buy your game. On the other hand, if you're selling an ebook on how to do your makeup perfectly, then you want your videos to appear before makeup tutorials and not before Let's Plays. Targeting helps you to reach your specific target audience, and in turn, this helps you to make more conversions and get a better ROI. But there's more to it than that as well. Targeting also helps you to avoid facing so much competition, and this in turn helps you to win more bids while spending less. Put it this way. If your video is targeting a massive niche like bodybuilding, then you're going to be going up against Mike Chang and Jeff Cavaliere, as well as the countless other massive brands. And this means that you'll need to set a very high CPV and your budget will likely run out quickly. But if your video ad is targeting something a lot more specific and niche, let's say food truck businesses, then you can set your budget much lower and set your CPV much lower and still get seen by a lot of people. What's more is that this smaller audience is much more likely to be interested in your product and thus convert into paying customers. To set up topics, you simply choose from a couple of thousand different topics. This is somewhat limited when compared to regular AdWords that lets you choose any key phrases that you want. However, in some ways it also gives you a more precise control and it saves time. Some of these categories are going to be fairly broad. These include the likes of beauty and fitness or face and body care. These give you the most exposure but cost the most. But if you dig a little deeper into the subcategories, then you can get more niche by choosing things like face and body care or hygiene and toiletries. Another thing to think about when choosing your niche is just which type of content is most abundant and most successful on YouTube. Some video topics like makeup tutorials and let's play videos come up time and time again, meaning there are more videos for you to appear on, and those videos are likely to be higher profile. On the other hand, if you choose something that lends itself less well to videos, like programming, then you'll be appearing on fewer videos. Once you've done all this, you'll then have the option to choose your advert and to set it up. The first thing that you'll need to consider here is which type of advert you're going to use. There's actually multiple options in this regard, and some will even allow you to earn money without creating an advert at all. If you want to use traditional text ads, then you can have these appear on top of videos as they play. These look very similar to AdSense adverts, the ads that appear on websites, but are long and horizontal. These only show up on the desktop mind, which means that they won't be visible to the 50% plus of users who view them on mobiles. But then again, desktop users may be more likely to convert for your specific type of content. Overlay ads are a useful way to stand out from the pack and to reach a specific target audience without competing for the overcrowded space on Google's search engine results pages, SERPs. That said, though, they also don't quite function in the same way as true video ads and don't have the same amount of engagement. Then there are the so-called in-display ads, which show not over the video, but next to it. These will appear right next to the feature video. The more common type of ad, though, is the video ad, and this is what this video series is mainly focused on. There are many different types of video ads, and these are charged differently, but we'll look at this in more detail later on. For now, though, we'll focus on how you select your ad and set it up. To do this, you're basically going to upload the video to your YouTube channel, and you can make it unlisted or private so that your subscribers don't get shown it. And then you're just going to select it as the video to go with in that campaign. This means that you can actually use any video on your channel as an advert. If you want to, you can have a Let's Play as your ad. Of course, this isn't going to drive many customers to your products though, and it will likely be a waste of money. So instead, you're better off creating a unique video that exists for the sole purpose of being an advert and generating revenue. You'll also need to select the type of video ad, which in turn will dictate the behavior of the video. You'll learn more about this in the next video. If someone clicks your advert, or if they click the branding that appears around it, then they're going to be taken to a specific destination which should encourage sales and engagement with your brand. It's up to you to choose what this destination is, and it can either be your YouTube channel itself, or it can be another one of your videos. In other cases, you can link with a call to action, which means that you can send them straight through to a landing page or a site where they can buy your product. It's up to you how you want to set this up. If your aim is to increase engagement and to get more views and followers for long-term monetization, then linking them straight to your channel will give them the opportunity to see more of your content and to hopefully become fans or subscribers who can be more likely to buy from you in future. This is advantageous as it can be somewhat difficult to convince people to buy products cold if they've never heard of your brand before. On the other hand, though, if you're advertising a vacuum cleaner, then you may be able to say everything you have to say in the video. In that case, sending someone straight to your online store where they can click buy might be the best strategy. Note that you can also pay for a click. If someone doesn't watch your video all the way through but they click on the ad, then you're still going to pay for that at the price that you bid.